Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you all the plants that I have in my collection. Since I moved into my new home, I really want to purchase some plants. So I really wanted to share that with you guys today. So if you really like plants, then you will really enjoy this video. So I'm going to start off with this shelf here. So the first one I have is the Sansevieria whale fin. So this is just a normal one. So I do hope I get the variegated version as well, because that one is just so pretty. But I'm happy I have this one because they are very rare to come by. And the next one I have is the Scintapsus moonlight trivia. And I actually fell in love with this plant when I saw it in one of the plant videos. I just love the silvery foliage. And then this one back here looks like a heart shape. It's such a gorgeous plant. And then I have all these new leaves ready to unfold. And what I noticed about with the Scintapsus, the leaves drop, and that's when you know you need to water them. And once you water them, the plants do perk back up. So that's one of the things I noticed with Scintapsus. And also they're a little bit of a thirsty plant as well. It's such a pretty plant. So if you don't have one, I do recommend you to get one. And the next one I have is the Peperonium raindrop. So this one also has a heart-shaped leaf and has all these new leaves ready to unfold. And then this one here is the largest leaf I have. It's just so pretty and it's the shape of a heart. And I actually fell in love with this plant when I saw how big the size of the leaves are, and then they're in the shape of a heart. And then with the pepperoni, I noticed if they're soft and the leaves kind of drop, it needs watering as well. So if you don't have this plant, I also recommend you to get one. And I also had the pepperoni hope, which is also my favorite one, but that one didn't do very well for me. And with that one, I just noticed it was very hard to get the watering right. Too much water, the leaves turn black and they drop. If you don't water them as much, the leaves also drop. So it's just one of those finicky plants that I found. So unfortunately that one I had to get rid of. But this one seems to be doing really well for me, because I think it's just that it's more sturdier, the leaves. So this one is doing okay. So if you don't have this one, also get this one. And the next one here is the Sansevieria silver flame. I just love the dark green on the leaves, and then the edges are lighter green, and then it has all these specks going down it. I just love the Sansevieria, the dark green more. And it also has a new leaf coming out here, so that's very exciting, which is very interesting to see it growing. And then the last one here on this shelf is the CC Sensi compacta. So this one stays compact. It doesn't grow as big as the normal CC one. And I just love the leaves on this. It looks very structural, and then the trunks look so thick as well. So with the CC plant, these plants don't really need that much watering, and they also do well in low light. So if you're a plant beginner, I recommend you to get the CC plant and also the Sansevieria, because they don't need that much watering and they do well in low light as well. But I get all my afternoon sun here on this shelf. And then moving here to my windowsill, which I put my plants here during the summer months. So I usually start bringing it here around May. So all the plants that need more sun, I will put them there. And then this is my corner space where I keep my plants mostly, and I also keep them out here during the winter season, so doesn't have the draft and the cold coming from my windows here. And I want to start off with this plant here. This is the Ficus tinnicky, a rubber tree, and I just love this one because it has the green and the cream variegation, and then has these two pink nodes, which I will get new leaves later on. And this one here is actually a new leaf, which came around, started around the end of December. So it's very exciting to see this unfold, and actually document it on my Instagram channel. So it's the first leaf I got from this plant. And I noticed with the Ficus rubber tree, they do need a lot of sun to do well. But during the winter months, I did lose a few leaves at the bottom, which I was told that's normal. And usually the leaves, when they start to drop and they don't feel as sturdy, it's time to water it. But I do notice the bottom leaves are more droopier than the top half. I don't know why that is. And with the rubber tree, if you do remove their leaves, they do have that kind of like a white milky residue. So I recommend you to wear gloves if you're removing any of the leaves, because it could irritate your skin. So I do hope this plant will grow taller for me. So I have this about 1.5 years now, and it's been doing very well. So the other one that I like is the, I think it's the ruby, or the ruby one, where the leaves are more reddish color. So I might get that one if I come across it, because this one is doing very, very well for me. So moving on to this one is my Dracaena marginata bicolor. And I actually fell in love with this because of the color of the leaves. It has 3 colors. It has green and the creamy yellow, and then this kind of pink color. And that's what got me into getting this plant. It just looks like a variegated Dracaena. And I did have the Dracaena marginata one, and that was like a more deep green with the maroon edges, and that one didn't do so well for me over the winter months. It got fungus and mildew. What I did was actually cut all the stems off this, and that was infected. So I don't know if that was the right thing to do, because I never cut a plant off. And after a month, it just kind of started to get rusty, and the stems were drying up. So I got rid of it. So hopefully this one will do well. So the more they grow, the bushier they get. So I'm thinking of, you know, like chopping a bit back to have that pointy structural look when I got it. And I did try to do that with this one, but I didn't do a good job. As you can see here, it's all like no leaves, but I do find this plant to grow very quickly, so I'm not too worried. But I just love this pink, this deep pink color. It's just so amazing. It's so beautiful as well. And this came with 3 stems, 1, 2, 3. So I kind of put this one on its own as a backup, or maybe I'll give it one away. We'll see. So I just found out with the 3 stems together in the pot, it just looks very, it was just, didn't have that much space. So I just want to give it more space. So this one has 2, and then have 1 over here. And what I noticed with the branches on the Dracaena a while ago, you can see the stem. It looks very wrinkled looking. It looks like it has wrinkles. And then the stem up here, it looks very dry. So I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if it's got to do with the air of my house, if it's too dry. Because during the cold months, I do have the central heating on. So hopefully it's not the cause of it. I mean, I do water it regularly, and the root seems to be okay since I potted the 3 stems separately. And hopefully it will do well, because if I do, if this Dracaena doesn't do well, I don't think I'll purchase another one, because it seems to be very hard to maintain. And then moving on to here is my CC Raven. So the new leaves, when I got it, it was kind of green, and then the mature it grows, it turns kind of like a blacky deep purple color. And I find this one to be a very slow grower. So I don't know if it's with the Raven, it's more of a slow grower than the regular green one. And then I have them tied on these plant sticks, because I like my plants to grow straight. And then I have the Velcro ties. It actually took me a long time to find these Velcro ties in my garden center, because they're actually very good for your plants, because they don't damage the stems because of the Velcro material. And then moving on to this plant stand here, which I got from IKEA. So you can put 3 plants on this plant stand. So the first one here is the Hoya Carey. So this is just a green one. I really want the variegated one, because that one is just so pretty. So I was really lucky I came across this plant. And it has the heart-shaped leaf. And when I got this plant, I noticed inside the stems it was like very white, and I was so scared it might be mealybugs, but they just told me it was the milky sap of the plant. So I actually washed it down with lemon dishwasher soap and some pest spray. So usually when I get new plants, I do wash it down with the lemon dishwasher soap and then I spray it with pest if I notice there's anything. And then if there's any damaged leaves, I cut them off, and then I put cinnamon on the wounds, and it seems to be doing good for me, doing that way, and I haven't had any problems since. So the reason I use lemon scent dishwasher, because fungus gnats don't like the smell of lemon, so I chose that one. And then I have this long stem here, so hopefully there'll be new leaves growing on that. And then here is the pepperoni octusfolia, I think it's called, and this one has the green and yellow variegation. They also come in the green variegation as well, but this one is just so pretty. And then I have all these new leaves here as well, on new growth. And then with this plant, if it doesn't feel soft, it doesn't look perky, then you need to water it. But the first time I watered it a bit much, I did lose some of the leaves at the bottom. So what I use now is just like a wooden stick, and I stick into my soil, and that's the only way I know if it needs to be watering, because I find those water thermometers that you put into your soil to track the water schedule, I just find that one to be not very reliable, so I just use the wooden stick method. And then this one here is my Hoya compacta. It's my favorite plant, and all this new growth here I got during the winter season, which I was surprised that this plant was growing during the winter season. And then all these new nodes is sprouting new leaves, and I'm hoping that this gap here, they will grow more leaves there, because I don't want to have that empty gap here. And then you can see the leaves, they're actually very hard to clean, so I use cotton buds, and I get into those spaces that you can't get with a cloth. So I would be so sad if this was infected, because it's so hard to keep clean. So far it's doing really good for me. So moving down here, so I actually had these plants on my window, on my kitchen windowsill, so I just moved it over here, so it'd be easier for me just to show you them, so I don't have to move around so much. So this one is an autograph tree. So these plants do grow very tall if you give them a lot of sun. So I just noticed that the leaves are very small, because they're not getting as much direct sun. So maybe in the summertime it will show some growth. So so this is the autograph tree, which is also very nice. And then here is some sort of, I feel like it's part of the, the teddy bear, the teddy bear paw, the variegated plant one, which I also want to able to get that one day if I come across it. So I think this is part of the same species family, I'm not sure. And I just love how fuzzy they are. This one is really fuzzy, and then it has this kind of like a caramel color on the edges. It's a very unusual plant. It's so soft. I love nice soft plant, And then here is the I think this is called a sand dollar cactus. I'm not quite sure, because I'm still new to some of the cactuses, and you can see they're like a shape of a ball, and then it has this kind of white fuzz to it. And I find this one not to be doing so good for some reason. So I have this on my kitchen windowsill. So we'll see how this one will grow during the summer months. And then down here looks a bit like my sad orchids. So I hope that I get my flower blooms back here in the summer months, because the blooms do fall off after a while. And then this leaf here is a new leaf that came, but I just noticed that the leaves here are starting to look a bit wrinkled looking, so I don't know if it just needs to be watered. I might change the soil to a more airier mix, because I didn't have the orchid soil, which I have now, so I might change it into that. And then this is also another one as well. This one is not doing too bad. The leaves, it doesn't look as wrinkled. And then all here is just like new leaves. I mean, it's growing new leaves, but it's not growing me new blooms. And I actually snapped off the stick here where the flower blooms are, so hopefully that won't affect the flowers growing back. So moving here into this corner, I have my Euphorbia ingenious, and I just love this plant. Actually, I came across this plant in nursery, which I don't really see these type of cactus. I was actually on the hunt for the Euphorbia variegated one and also the white ghost because they look so amazing. So I really want one of those if I come across it. And then it has these little hands on the sides, so I don't know if they will grow bigger like arms, so we'll just have to see. And then it has all these kind of pokey stems here at the side, so when I do repot it, I do hold it in the middle part here. So with cactus, they're like slow growers, so I think they only need to be repotted maybe once or twice a year. So I have it in this corner so I won't get poked, and I do get my morning sun here. Oh. And then moving on to this this shelf here. So this is actually a bathroom shelf, which I wanted to get downstairs for my bathroom downstairs, but it was out of stock like for ages, and I didn't think it would come back. So I got a different one downstairs, and when these came back in stock, I purchased 2 of them, and I put them in this corner space for my plants. So this is where I get my morning sun. And I'm going to start off the bottom shelf here. So this one is a Sansevieria, I think it's the Hanni one, and this is just a cutting that I got, and it's actually a very slow grower. This leaf here is just a new leaf, and it took about a year to come through, and I just love the color of this leaf. The lime yellow and the green is such a pretty Sansevieria. It's such a gorgeous plant. So hopefully this one will grow more bigger for me, but I'm happy that it's doing well and that I got this new leaf here. And then moving on, here is the Euphorbia obesa. So this is a rare plant as well, and it has all these kind of like little seeds on top, so I don't know if like they're new growth or if it's blooming. And these can get sun stress as well when you put them directly in the sun, so I might try that in the summer months. And then this here is a cactus, and I call this the bunny ears cactus because it just looks like bunny ears, and then has this kind of a white fuzz. And I actually had one of these for 7 years, and I kept it in the bathroom, and I think it was just too much humidity there, and eventually died off. So I wouldn't recommend to put it in the bathroom. So it has these kind of like little new growths coming through, and I just love the white fuzz. So the mature they get, they're not as fuzzy, so that's a bit sad. So hopefully this one will do well. And then back here is some sort of succulent. I don't know the name of this plant, but it just looks like a rose. So that's one of the reasons why I purchased it, because it just looks like a shape of a rose, and then has this kind of like a purple pink tinge to it. It's so pretty, this one is. And then here I have some sort of another succulent plant, and I think this one is the sedum type of succulent, but I just call it the jelly one, the jelly bean succulent, because you can see it looks like jelly beans, the leaves, and has a gorgeous pink tinge to it as well. I actually came across this in a supermarket, which was a very rare find. And then here is a jade plant. I think it's the Crossula one, and it's like a shape of a flower, this jade, and has this kind of a sun stress to it, which is so pretty. And then moving on here, I'm not even going to pronounce the proper name of this plant, but I just call it, it's also called a bishop's cap, because as you can see, it looks like a bishop's cap. And they also come in the white fuzzy one, but I just like the green one more. And then down here, I have these 2 tiny Euphorbia violets, and I think they're very rare to come by as well. So I don't know if these will grow bigger. Hopefully it will, but it's such a pretty plant. And then moving over here, I'll just move the stand a bit so I can get in here. So this one is the my favorite Hoya, which I've been on the search for ages, and when I actually seen it in plantae.ie, they only had a baby size. So this is the Hoya Marcophylla, my favorite Hoya, and I just love the leaf on this. It just looks like a So pretty, you know, the pink and the cream, and the stems just look so pointy. So pretty. Hopefully I come across a bigger version of it. If not, hopefully this one will grow bigger. And then this one is another Hoya, which I can't pronounce. I think it's the Hoya callus something. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. I don't know the name. I'm still new to some of the plants, but this one I just find it very unusual because it has the crocodile alligator design on the leaves, and this is also a small size. And then this one is the Hoya Cronon. It's the super silver one. So the leaves are super silver in color. It's just so beautiful. They also come in the green and the splash, but I really wanted the super silver one. And they did have like a baby size, like a small size, a medium and a large, but they were out of stock, so I could only get in the baby size. So hopefully the medium and large will be back in stock. If not, hopefully this one will grow more for me and start trailing. But usually Hoyas, they do very well, and they're like a sturdy plant. So hopefully it will grow for me. And then back here is some sort of a succulent. I think it begins with a H, but I just call this like a jelly succulent because as you can see the leaves, they look like jellies. I wouldn't recommend you to squeeze them in case you damage the leaves. And I notice it has this kind of like a pointy stick coming out. So I don't know if it's like a new leaf or a bloom. So we'll just have to see. And then this one is a Sansevieria kirkii. And I just love the structure of this plant. And then the green and the white specks. It's just so pretty, this plant is. And then moving on to this shelf here, there are two Sansevierias. I think this one is called the some sort of Sansevieria bird's nest, the green one. That's what I feel that's called. And then you can see there's a new growth here. And then this one, I'm not quite sure the name of this one. I think it's some sort of like a Sansevieria trifasci or something. I'm not quite sure. But I just fell in love with the color of this Sansevieria, the green and the white. You can see the specks going through it. It's just that the white part is looks very amazing. This one doesn't have any new growth yet. So I actually find these in a supermarket as well. Sometimes you can come across with rare plants in a supermarket, which is amazing. So you just never know what you find in your local supermarket. So these are new, very pretty Sansevieria. And then moving on, here is my the Hoya Waiatii tricolor. So this one looks a bit like the Hoya canosa princess, but the leaves look like shape of peas and they're more narrow, and the new leaves come out pink as well. But I find this one is not doing so well. I mean, I have lost a few leaves. It just doesn't look healthy, and I don't know if it's because of they're in transit. And I actually purchased this from Plant Circle, so they're a Germany company, and it took a week to come. So usually Hoyas, they're like, usually like a sturdy plant. So I will keep an eye on it. Hopefully it will do well, because I really do like this Hoya. And also come in the green version with a black margin, but I just like the variegated one more. And then this one is a cactus. I don't know what type of cactus it is, but when I purchased this, they were a shape of a ball, and the more it grew, it just kind of looked more pointier and looks more like a light bulb, and it's not as fuzzy. So it's such an unusual cactus, this one. And then moving on, here is a variegated jade plant. I'm not quite sure the name of this one. It's just so pretty, the colors, and then the stem is kind of like a reddish pink. And I do notice that if you do water these plants too much, the leaves will drop. And then here is another one of my jade crassula, the one I showed you at the bottom, which looks more sun-stressed. So this one is more green. So I will put this on the windowsill during the summer months to have it more of like a sun-stressed look. So this one is actually my second one. The original one I had was more sun-stressed, and I overwatered too much, and unfortunately that one didn't do well. So I got another one, and they're actually very hard to come across, these jade plants. So hopefully this one will do okay, because I'm trying to get my watering right. And then this one here is another jade, and this one is called the golden one, and I just love how sun-stressed this one is. And then they look like tubes, and then the front here looks like little mouths. And I usually clean these with cotton buds as well, just to get right into the gap, because it's actually very hard to clean this with a cloth. And this one's actually very hard to find. I have seen ones where it's more green and the stems are more taller, but I haven't seen one that is sun-stressed like this one. So hopefully this one will do well for me. And I find it to be a very slow grower, this one is. But so far it's doing very well. And then onto this shelf here is my Hoya carnosa albanata. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. This one I got from plantae.ie, and I did get another one to stick at the back so it looked more fuller, but that one actually died because that one had more of like a cream variegation. It didn't have that much green, so they told me it's unlikely that it will survive, and that is harder to manage when the leaves are more pure white. So like that one didn't do well, so I took that out and I bought another one from another company from plantae.ie. So I stuck it in here to make it more fuller, and this leaf here just looks so pretty. It's more creamy color and the green in the middle. So this one I do find it to be a very slow grower. And this one here I have like over a year, and it only gave me one leaf. So this one here, it's only gave me one leaf. So I know it's doing very well when I notice like this new growth. And then here is a common jade plant that you will see anywhere. So this is the one that mainly a lot of people have. And this is a jade plant. So majority of the jade plants, they're like good fortune, good health, and it's a good luck plant. So this one I had about a year and a half now. It hasn't grown much, so I do find it I mean, I have like families had this plant for 5 and 10 years, and they do grow like a big tree, and then the trunk's actually more thicker like a tree. So I'm in no hurry, you know, having this plant growing that big yet. Sometimes it's just nice to enjoy them growing from small to big. And then here I have a plant. So this one plant hanger, I had a fishbone cactus. That one didn't do well for me, so I had to get rid of it. And what I have in here instead is the philodendron tortum, and it's my first philodendron. And I actually saw this in one of the plant videos, the more mature looking one. The leaves just look so structural, and it just looks amazing looking. So I saw this a smaller version from plantae.ie, and it's just a baby size one, and the new leaves do come in pink and they turn green. So hopefully this philodendron do well for me, because I never had a philodendron. And I just noticed this leaf here looks a bit rusty, so I might need to water it. So that could be one side that needs watering. And I've been thinking of getting the philodendron pink princess, but just hear so many people say that it reverts. So I don't know if I still want to get it now. So hopefully this one will do well and it will grow big. And then moving up here on my top shelf is the Hoya Parska black margin. So this one has the black margin, and then you can see it has the splashes. And then the leaves look like spades. And I find this one to be a very slow grower, because all this stem here, I haven't seen any new growth. And what I did was I actually sprayed it with orchid mist. I heard people be doing that with the Hoyas. And I did that, and I noticed this is a new node here. So it must be a sign that it's working. So I will keep an eye on it to see if this will turn into a leaf. And if it works, then I might continue on spraying the orchid mist. And then here is the Hoya Crimson Queen. So this one's actually doing very well, and it's growing amazing as well. Like all these new leaves. I mean, these are like new leaves, and I just love the cream and the green variegation. It's so pretty. And then the back here I have is like all new leaves. So all that is like new leaves here. It's just so pretty. Look at this one, looks like a pinky color. So all that is new growth. So I usually turn my plants so that they grow evenly. And then here I have my Hoya Crimson Princess. I just love this one. So this one has more of a cream green, and then the new leaves are actually kind of pinky color. So this one is a new leaf, and then that's a new leaf. It's just so pretty. And I think the reason for me that got into Hoyas is when I saw this plant, I actually fell in love with it. So this is my first Hoya that I fell in love with and got into, and then as soon as I got this one, and then I got the Queen, and then I got the Hoya compacta one. This one here is the Hoya Crinkle 8, and I just love this one. You can see the leaves looks a bit crinkle looking, so that's the reason I think it got its name. And then you can see inside the leaves, it looks like a bit of groove marks on them. And this was originally €25, and it went down to €13, so it's a very good bargain. And I was actually looking for the Hoya Chelsea, which is also my wishlist plant. It looks a bit similar, but the leaves are actually more different. And I just noticed here, if I get closer, I think that's a new leaf right there. So it looks like kind of like a burgundy color. I just noticed that now while I'm filming this. So I might look at it again after I finish this video, just to make sure it's actually a new leaf, that there's no damages. So that's everything on this corner that I showed you. So this is actually my where I keep all my plants, in this corner. And then I usually sit on this windowsill ledge here and have a cup of tea, just to enjoy my plants. And then my last plant here is in this corner here. And this is the a CC plant, so it's the regular green one. So the new leaves, they're like a lime color, and they're like a little bit soft. And then as soon as it matures, it turns into a darker green and more waxy color. And then again, I have it on this kind of like a plant stick stand, so I have it growing straight, because I like my plants to grow straight. And this one actually took me a long time to repot because it was so root bounded. I had to cut the nursery pot here, and I didn't have the proper equipment and scissors, and it took me like 2 hours to repot this plant and clean the leaves. And I'm lucky I didn't damage any of the roots. So I do recommend, if you do see roots coming out of your nursery drainage hole, just to start repotting it. Because I do find plants that you purchase in a garden centre, they don't really look after it that well compared to the ones online, which they take care of the plants more. So it's like, I do have a few fails in purchasing plants from a garden centre, but you just have to take the chance, you know. So this was really root bounded, and lucky I was able to get it out and repotted it. And I actually got this plant for Chinese New Year, which was, I think was the February the 1st. So it's one of those lucky plant, and they mentioned these leaves are like a string of coins. So I purchased this for Chinese New Year. It's the only plant I could get, like a good luck plant. I wanted a bamboo one, but I couldn't come across it. So this one is actually a very pretty plant. And I think that's all the plants that I have shown you. So this is mainly where I have them all here. And you can see that all my plants, like they're like outside. I prefer having my plants growing outside than in glass cabinets or in a greenhouse. I just like my plants to be outside. You know, I just enjoy it more. You know, I just sit here with my cup of tea, just, you know, look at my plants. And I'm not never really interested to have those plants that you keep in the cabinet or the greenhouse. I was never into that. So I like them all grown outside. And also all my plants are soil. I don't use any substrates. I'm not into the sphagnum moss or pond or the leca. And I also find the ponds, you know, they look like, you know, I don't like all that algae buildup. It just reminds me of a fishbowl tank where they have the algae buildup and it kind of smells. It's just kind of messy. So I have everything in soil. So the soil I use is succulent and cacti soil. And then I put in perlite and cocoa bark. And I also put in the active charcoal. I find with the active charcoal, it helps with the root rot and also to keep pests away. So I do recommend you use that if you do have a lot of Hoyas, because I do find with Hoyas they tend to root rot more. And yeah, so all my plants are in soil. And also you notice that all my plants, like I have them in a nursery pot, and then outside is the decorative pot. So what I do is I'll take it out from the nursery pot and I water it, and then I'll make sure it's dry, and then I put them back into the nursery pot, into the decorative pot. I'm not into the terracottas. Also I prefer, like, you know, it's just easier to change over. If my plants grow, I just change them into the next size nursery pot and decorative pot. I just find it easier that way compared to the other way you grow it. And I haven't had any issues, so that's the way I grow my plants. And you notice that I don't have other type of plants, so I'm more knowledgeable with the cacti and the succulents and the Hoyas as well. So they're the main plants that I grow. Now I'm really into the sansevierias and the Hoyas. And I'm going to end my video back to this shelf where I started. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. So there are a few plants I don't have in my collection, like the monasterias. I'm not into those type of plants, and I don't tend to buy any big plants because I don't have the space for it. And I used to like the alocasias. You know, I had the alocasia dragon scale, but I find alocasias just don't do well in my environment. And also, what else? Philodendrons, they don't usually do well in my environment, so I do hope that philodendron tortum will do well for me. And also I don't have any anthuriums because I'm not a fan of the anthurium plants. So that's another plant species I don't have. So majority of the plants that I like is Hoyas, sansevierias, jade plants mostly, and the ficus rubber trees. So everyone has their own specific plants that they like and enjoy, and these are my favorite plants, and also some of the plants which I noticed that does well in my environment. So yeah, that's everything I have. I think I'm gonna finish off here. So I'm really happy that whoever subscribed to my channel, whoever watched my videos, I really am grateful and appreciate that you're enjoying my videos and you're watching it. And I do hope that I will have more subscribers on my channel. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. And I'm also happy as well if you do watch my videos. And hopefully I will make another one. So I do have a full-time job, so I do use YouTube as a hobby. So I will try to make a video maybe once a week during the weekends where I'm more free. But I'm just doing this as like a hobby because I'm not very comfortable in making videos yet. You notice that like I haven't shown my face, and I might be talking a little bit nervous. So I'm still very you know, new to this filming videos. Also, I'm not like very confident in making videos as well. So hopefully I will get better at it. And also I will have the proper equipment because I'm just filming on my phone. So I hope to get like a tripod one day. I noticed in my last video you mentioned that my video was a bit shaky. So hopefully I'll get a tripod soon so that my video isn't as shaky. So hopefully the quality of my videos are okay for you to watch, and also the sound system because I just record everything on my phone. And I'm going to end my video here. So if there's anything that you like to see and you recommend me to upload, I will try to do it for you. So in the meantime, please be patient with my uploads, and I will try to make new content as soon as I can. So I'm gonna say goodbye here, and thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon. Goodbye. Take care.